My son is sleeping right now. He's taking a nap. He's actually been taking a really long nap. It's been like 2 hours, but hey, as long as he's resting, that's all that matters. But I wanted to come on here and do a quick story of my labor and delivery. I did mention on my husband tag that I wanted to talk about that because, you know, the experience was amazing to me. So I just wanted to share with you guys. So let's just get to it. My son was born May 26, 2017, and prior to that, I was 39 weeks pregnant, and I was just ready to give birth at that point. I did hear that 39 weeks is good, like a good time to have your baby, even though, you know, you want to go 100% full term, which is 40 weeks. But he was already at the point that if he was to come, he would be 100% healthy. So I wanted to do anything in my power to have my son now. And prior to that, I was working and I did have the option to work from home. So the last week that I was going to go on my maternity leave, I was able to work from home because I wasn't sure when my son was going to come. At my last appointment, I was 1.5 centimeters dilated. So you know, I didn't know when he was going to come, so I'd rather be home than, God forbid, my water breaks and I'm at work. So basically, yeah, I was spending the last week of my pregnancy at home. And during that time, I had no symptoms of him coming at all. I had no contractions. I mean, I was getting Braxton Hicks, like my stomach will get really, really hard, like a ball, and it would feel heavy. And I heard that that was Braxton Hicks, and then it would go away. That was the only thing I was experiencing, but no mucus plug coming out, no nothing. And I just felt like he was never gonna come, honestly. It was just like the waiting game is the worst part. So I had an appointment that Tuesday, which was December 24th. I had an appointment with my doctor, and I did talk to her and asked her if there was any options, you know, for me to have my son this week or, you know, closer to the 40 weeks. And she did mention a membrane sweep. I'm not going to go too into detail with that. You can do your own research. But basically, she went into my cervix and broke up some of the mucous membrane to help get things going. It's a 50% chance it could work and it could not. So she did that. It was painful. I didn't like it. But yeah, so after that, me and my husband left and we were like, you know what? Let's go to the mall. We're going to walk around. We're going to do everything we can to, you know, try and help Kai, you know, push down further on my cervix. And so we went to the mall. We started walking around. And then we went back home to my community and we went into the pool and we started swimming. And we were swimming back and forth, you know, safely because I did have a huge belly. And I was jumping in the water lightly, just doing some exercises in the water. And then after that, me and my husband walked all around my community about twice. So I was doing a lot. So I got the membrane sweep, and then that same day I was walking around. Okay, I'm back, and yes, Kai did end up waking up. He took a really long nap, so I don't mind that he woke up, and he just had a bottle and he's pulling on my hair. Say hi, Kai Kai. Say hi. Say hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. You being shy? Okay. Usually people show their kids at the end, but I don't mind showing my baby now. So yeah, back to what I was saying. So after the membrane, we did all that, and that day was done. The next day came. When I woke up to use the restroom, I noticed that I lost my mucus plug, and it was a bloody show. And I'm not gonna go into detail about that because, you know, that could be TMI, but, you know, anyone that wants to research, do that, and I'm sure mommies who have babies know what I mean. I thought basically I was gonna be having Kai today, which was the 25th. So I called my supervisor. I told her, hey, I'm not coming in, I'm not gonna log on because yada yada, I'm headed to the hospital. So me and Josh went to the hospital, and after the doctor took a look at me and everything, she told me straight up, you're not having a baby today, you're only 2 centimeters dilated, it's normal to lose your mucus plug, you're just gonna have to wait it out. So devastated, me and Josh left, but we didn't lose hope. You know, we were gonna continue to walk around our community, and I was gonna continue bouncing on my medicine ball, and that's what I did. Now, Josh being so excited, he ended up calling my mother-in-law that day and told her that I lost my mucus plug and that I was gonna be having the baby. And she ended up taking a flight to Florida from New York. And I told Josh, I'm like, why would you tell her that? I'm not having the baby. We don't know when Kai is coming. So now she might end up coming at the wrong time. So, but she was already on a flight. So now we were like, okay, what are we gonna do? We got family here and we're not gonna have no baby. So we just continued to walk around the community, and I bounced on my medicine ball. So nighttime came, no change, nothing happened. I wasn't feeling any pain. The only discomfort I was feeling was from the membrane sweep. I was cramping, but I mean, you know, still nothing was happening. So that night, it was around 10 o'clock, I started getting really bad cramps, and I felt like my stomach was tightening. And Josh was really tired because he did have to go to work. If something was to happen, you know, obviously he would call out, but, you know, he still had to rest because he did have to go to work the next day. So we were just like, all right, let's just call it a night, and, you know, we'll see what tomorrow brings. So during the night, the cramping just continued to get worse. It wasn't getting better, and it was keeping me up. So I would go into the living room just to walk around. I would bounce on the medicine ball. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm getting cramps, then maybe I can continue to get the process started by bouncing on the ball. And then I'm like, okay, let me time these things, because I feel like they're coming more often. And I kind of started thinking like, okay, I think these are contractions, because the pain would start and then it would go away, and I would feel it. It would feel like a crunching and then a... So I'm like, okay, I think this might be contractions. I'm over here getting excited, but, you know, I didn't want to get my hopes up. So they were 5 minutes apart, 4 minutes apart, then it started changing to 2 minutes apart, then seconds, 50 seconds, 40 seconds, 30 seconds. I'm like, whoa, I think like I'm having contractions. So I continued bouncing on the medicine ball, and while I was doing that, all of a sudden I felt this little gush come out, and when I looked, it was water. It looked like water, and I'm like, oh my God, like, could this be my water? So I walked into the bathroom, and more started trickling out, and when I looked on the floor, it was drops. I'm like, okay, I think my water's breaking. So I ran into the room, and I told Josh, I'm like, babe, I think we need to go to the hospital. My water's breaking. So I already had my hospital bag ready. We got ready, told our families. I told my parents, because my parents live in New York too, that we were headed to the hospital. And right when we got to the car and I sat down on the seat, boom, my water broke. So I was in labor, I guess you would say. I don't know if it's active labor, but I was having a baby today, and that was around 12:30 a.m. So we started driving to the hospital. I was so nervous. I had no emotions. I was like, oh my God, like, is this really happening? Like, everything was just so surreal to me. So let's fast forward. I want to get to the good parts. I was only 3 centimeters dilated when I begged for that epidural, because the contractions started getting unbearable. I mean, for me, I can't even handle a stomach ache. Hold on, let me put Cat down. Here, Papa, play with this. I can't even handle a stomach ache. So I was like, oh my God. I can't even explain how the feeling felt. It felt like cramps, but a little bit worse. Like, you can feel it all around, like from your stomach to your back. And it's just like like an ongoing pain. Like, it comes and it goes in waves, and it was just, woo, I couldn't take it. So I got the epidural at 3 centimeters, and, you know, the doctors did tell me that it could wear off. I do run that risk, but I'm like, I was so blinded by the pain that I didn't care. I'm like, please give me the epidural. They did give me another medication before that. I forgot the name of it, but it didn't help. If anything, it made me sleepy, and I ended up getting really nauseous, to the point where I ended up vomiting. But it was so cute, because right when I was about to vomit, Josh jumped up ran, picked me up. He got a bag. He was holding on to me. He was so supportive the whole time. Oh my goodness. This child is at the stage where he falls all over the place. He was very supportive of me the whole time. He was there with me every step, even when I kept telling him to be quiet because I was going through contractions, and he's talking to me like, it's okay, babe, breathe. I'm like, shh, shh, that's not helping, please stop. But he was so supportive. So yeah, basically after getting my epidural, the pain stopped completely. I started feeling so much better. I was numb, and I was just, waiting on my pregnancy. And they had me switching positions here and there to try and get Kai to move down because I wasn't really dilating fast. Like, I went from 3 centimeters, then like 2 hours later, I was only like 3.5, 4 centimeters. So it was a really long waiting game. And around 4 o'clock, my mother-in-law got there, and we were all just hanging out in the room, numb, nothing really happening. Fast forward to 6 p.m. That's when things started picking up. I was at about 9 centimeters dilated, and around 6:40-ish, because I'm thinking of the time that I had my son. I honestly, to be honest, a lot of these people on these videos with the pregnancy, labor and delivery stories, they know the exact time and date. I was so caught in the moment that I was not thinking about the time and dates of when I started pushing and when all this happened. So I don't know time and dates of anything. So yeah, around 6:40, I was 10 centimeters dilated, and the nurse was like, okay, we're gonna start pushing. So we started attempting to push, and nothing was happening. I think I heard a lot of stories about, the ring of fire. I don't know if I mean, a lot of moms will know about that, where once the baby's head is out, it's like that extreme pain. And my epidural at this point started wearing off. So I started feeling contractions. Like, it felt like he had his foot on the top of my belly, and he was pushing at the top, and then he'll stop pushing. That's how I knew that the contractions were coming and going. So I started getting that sensation. So I started feeling it down there, and it would scare me. So every time I would push and I would feel it, I couldn't push anymore, no matter how hard I tried. And then they ended up bringing a mirror and putting it in front of me for me to see the head of Kai. Like, his head started pushing out. So they wanted me to look at that, and I saw his little hair, and that freaked me out. And I eventually told the nurse, I'm like, can you move the mirror, because that's not making me want to push. Like, seeing all of that come out, to me, I couldn't, like, because I was thinking about the pain, and I couldn't do it. So I asked them to remove the mirror. And my sister had came, and it was my husband and my mother-in-law, all up in the business. My legs are all open, and they're just like, come on, push, just waiting for me to push. And that was distracting to me too, because right when his head was coming out, everyone would get so excited, and they're like, come on, he's almost there. And that would like freak me out, and I would end up not being able to push. So I'm like, everyone please be quiet, like I can't focus. So after it felt like an hour. I was so exhausted. Like, pushing is no joke. When you push from everything within you, that it literally felt like my veins were gonna pop out of my head. It was so intense. But after an hour of pushing, at around 7:45 p.m., the actual doctor that was gonna deliver Kai came in. She told the nurses, step aside. She got things going. She said, hold on to the sides of the bed. And she was like, and push. So I started pushing with all my might. She grabbed Kai, and she grabbed them out, and immediately felt that relief. And she put him on my chest. And, me and Josh spoke about how we think we would feel in that moment. And, Josh is not really a sensitive, emotional person, and he was bawling. I was bawling. My mother-in-law was bawling. It was the most unexplainable feeling ever. And I'm sure a lot of moms that delivered any C-section naturally, you can't describe how it feels to see the baby that you've been holding all this time finally in front of you. It was just so like breathtaking. And I know that like till this day I get emotional. And when I had Kai, what I loved is that my husband, he documented everything. He was taking pictures even when I didn't want pictures, and I'm gonna try and get some of those pictures and post them. And he was taking videos. He took videos of when it was time for me to push. I had the oxygen mask on, and I was like, all right babe, stop recording, because I was nervous. He got everything. And after I had Kai, we were looking back at those videos and pictures, and I was just bawling my eyes out because I couldn't believe that this was possible. For those of you that don't know, which you probably don't know this, but me and Josh, we've been together for 9 years, and you know, we never had a baby. We weren't preventing it, but we weren't trying, but we weren't preventing it. And at certain points we were trying, but I mean, we would end up just, you know, not doing anything about it. So Kai to me was a miracle. I thought I couldn't have kids. So the fact that, you know, I was able to experience this, I never knew that I would. I thought that like I was just gonna be, you know, the woman that didn't have children. Me and Josh were just gonna be the couple that didn't have kids. And so the fact that I went through this experience is, you know, something that I'm never ever ever gonna forget, to the point where it makes me want to experience it again, because it was such a beautiful feeling. When Kai came out and I can still feel how it felt to this day. I felt his warm body on my chest. Like that was like the best feeling ever. And he weighed 9 pounds 2 ounces. He was a big baby. Yes, I pushed him out, and no, I did not rip or anything like that. I was perfectly fine. And yeah, so that was the birth and labor and delivery of this little boy. Kai Kai, give him a show. Say hi. Say hi. He likes this song. Who's that in the mirror? 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 Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my labor and delivery story. It was kind of all over the place and fast, but I just really wanted to, you know, share my experience with you guys. And yeah, please comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and check out my previous video if you didn't, of the husband tag that I did with Josh. And I hope you have a good day. Say bye.